How's it going, guys? CrackedRack here. It's been a long time since you've heard those beautiful words. I haven't made a video in a while because I've been pretty much being like the new Madonna recently. Anyway, I'm sure you've all heard about the Brian Thompson CEO shooting recently. Well, I bet when you were hearing about it, well, you were probably wondering what, little old CrackedRack's opinion on this is. That was probably the first thing you thought when you saw the news article. So I'm just going to give a human, honest reaction to this. This is fucked up. Brian Thompson's death is fucked up. Luigi Mangione, who looks like a character from Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, deserves the harshest sentence possible. Now, I don't want to see this creep on the streets. Look, I'll admit, Brian Thompson, the healthcare CEO of United Health, looked like a real douchebag. He was probably some kind of dark triad mental disability, and he was abusing healthcare and committing petty crimes and drunk driving. So he was doing some bad shit. AKA, he was a normal healthcare CEO, and he didn't deserve to be brutally murdered like he was in a horror movie. I don't know why this is such a hard thing for people to cope with. People in America are very shitty sometimes. They're greedy, they're narcissistic, they're abusive, they're emotionally manipulative. This is just the typical American. It's okay. America is a place of cold, hard logic, and hard punishment, and hard investigation. We don't operate off of fucking Sharia's law, where dishonor should lead to death. And because you stared up a woman's body or you committed some crimes, you're gonna get your head chopped off. The people who say death before dishonor are losers, and you should avoid them completely. A little bit of dishonor is not a big deal. Death should not follow it. Luigi Mangione is not a hero. In fact, he seems to have set off a chain reaction of people who, if they don't like their boss, they'll just go cut his ass up. That doesn't sound very heroic to me. This sounds sad and abusive and desperate. Like, okay, sure, Brian Thompson's incompetence was likely better off stopped. It was good if he went to jail or something like that. But just like North Korea, now that he's been killed, he's just going to be replaced with a bigger dickhead who's even fatter and scarier. I don't think healthcare CEOs are going to see this man having killed a healthcare CEO and be like, oh yeah, we need to cheapen healthcare and do a better job. This young man is a bright young man. If anything, they're just going to be scared and have a headache now and do an even shittier job and be trembling in fear. As for Luigi Mangione, this is just a hunch. Like, I've only been alive for 23 years, so I'm not like a genius, but this is just a hunch that I don't think Luigi Mangione would be a very pleasant guy to meet. Between the terrorism and his weird, creepy antics that got him caught, and his jigsaw-like desire to get revenge on the healthcare industry, and his surprisingly privileged background before he did all this stuff, I mean, it's not a guy I think I'd want to spend time with. This isn't a guy, like, I feel like a lot of people have a fantasy where they'd walk into his jail cell and he'd be, like, pitiful and you'd feel bad for him and maybe, like, make a couple jokes. That's not reality. That's not what would happen. If any of you fans went and visited Luigi Mangione in jail, he's probably a fucking psychopath, and if you tried to do that, he would just try to psychologically dominate you. It wouldn't be pleasant, and you'd probably see his murder of the healthcare CEO more as a pattern of his mental illness and less of an act of justice. Look, I'm not denying Brian Thompson sucked. This is a bad guy. I am in no way justifying his abuse of Americans' healthcare. I mean, this is a dude that probably snorted coke nightly, had sex with drunk, drove, psychologically abused his children every day. He might have even caused people to die, but he doesn't deserve to be snuck up on from behind and assassinated with a pistol. I mean, my God, that's a brutal way to go. It would have been little different if Luigi Mangione hid in a bale of hay until Brian Thompson walked by before jumping out and slitting his throat with a hidden blade. I mean, this is bad. This is not a guy who should be free to do what he wants and go where he wants to go. What's stopping him from, as soon as he's released, getting angry again at some pathetic millionaire and shooting them in the head? Hell, committing murder-suicide on his entire family. This is a very angry, hate-filled guy. Like, this is not a stable guy or a safe guy. I'd honestly compare him to like a modern-day Unabomber. Like, he's not cool. As for the women supporting him, a lot of people can't really believe how many women want to have intercourse with Luigi Mangione. And I just think that's normal. That's just about right. Damaged Dark Triad women enjoy the company of damaged Dark Triad men. It goes back generations and it's harmless. I wouldn't say there's anything concerning about it. If anything, it simply shows that human beings are awesome. If you think I'm being weird focusing on this aspect, there are literally videos of women photoshopping Luigi Mangione naked and then like licking the screen to lick his abs. I saw a Reddit thread discussing what his genitalia smelled like. My theory for that one would probably be like cured salami or ham, maybe. On his jury, which is very serious, he had 95% women on it who just wanted to mount him. And they were attractive women too. Physically anyways. Luigi Mangione is like the new fucking member of One Direction. He's the hottest thing on the streets. But back to the important stuff. Luigi Mangione is a loser, and his criminal behavior sucks. And even if he did whack basically an evil overlord, he still is dangerous and violent and abusive, and he should be locked up for 25 years minimum. I don't think he deserves to get the death penalty. I don't know why everyone has to die in this scenario. I don't think the death penalty should be an option if you're under like 35. I think it's messed up to put young people, no matter what they did, under the death penalty. But also, it's not like he planted a bomb in a school or busted into a senior citizen home with an AR-15. He didn't do any of those things. He just killed a psychopath who was doing really good in the healthcare industry. That's really it. Luigi Mangione has probably bred an even worse healthcare industry. I mean, think about it. Brian Thompson's kid is going to be furious like fucking Batman. They'll probably go to college and get a PhD so they can be the new United Health CEO and run a Hitler-styled regime. What do you think about that, Luigi? Do you think about that, huh? I mean, Luigi's actions are just so incredibly irresponsible, and there's so many holes in his so-called heroic plan. Why did he have to kill this man? Why couldn't he just beat him up, intimidate him? Killing is such an extreme action, and you should only do it if you absolutely have to. Brian Thompson did some scamming, and he was a piece of shit in like a very superficial way. He may have led to some deaths of some people through healthcare claims, but I think he should just go to prison, or should have anyway, for like 20 years and lose everything he has. That would have been a good punishment. Instead, he just got a bullet to the face. People who have to try and manipulate and control and stop your executive functions are cowards and losers. If he had killed this guy in another way, I would say maybe a little more praises. Like maybe if he went up to fucking Brian Thompson and got into a Family Guy-styled brawl, that would be awesome. But that's not what happened. He's a coward and a loser who killed somebody in a cowardly way. I cannot stand people who take sucker punches or take the cowardly way or do things in a way where they'll have the upper hand no matter what. Fuck you if you do that. You suck. You're a piece of shit. In Luigi's case, good intentions, bad execution. Literally. And also, because of his cowardly actions, now you have other weirdos doing it. Like this guy who looks like human SpongeBob, who stabbed his boss to near death out of revenge. Which is very scary. I hope this isn't a trend. I hope it doesn't just come down to people being like, damn it, my boss didn't give me a raise. In theory, all of the uber-rich CEOs and corrupt politicians getting whacked sounds like it'd be great, but it's not. It's just creating an environment of violence and hatred, and it's gonna blow back on us. So yeah, if any of you are watching this and you're thinking of killing any CEOs, please don't.